We have also a brother here, Eugene Wamalwa. And we have the chair of Jubilee, Torome Saitoti, is right here. And we have clearly communicated apologies from our sister Mother Karua and from our brother Fred Matiangi, and also our friend Peter Munya. So those, and Lenturi as well. So with those remarks, I want to welcome our brother JB to read a very important national statement.
Hi, cousins. As has already been indicated, this is a joint statement by the United Opposition on the murder of Albert Juang, as well as the continued intimidation of online and offline critics of the Kenya Kwanza heinous regime. Fellow Kenyans, 3 years ago, none of us could have imagined or predicted that we would be standing in front of you today in shock and horror, listing the atrocities and premeditated killings of Kenyans by the current regime. 3 years ago, many of us were on opposite sides of the political divide. We advocated for our plans and manifestos, eager to make a difference for our country, for the better, for posterity. Whether on the Kenya Kwanza, all Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Alliance sides, none of us gathered here today would have made plans to offer security or ensure that our staff and their families, indeed our own families, have a hotline for protection and help, because the threat of abductions and illegal detentions was an imminent reality. We simply did not imagine it. Nor could we ask any Kenyan to prepare for it. This aberration has been perpetuated by the increased illegal surveillance, abductions, and illegitimate detentions, some of them ascribed to mistaken identity. It has become the modus operandi of a callously inhumane, Ruto-led regime. It is one, if not the major reason, why senior members of the Kenya Kwanza have been impeached, forced into resignations, or indeed have been sacked because they questioned and sought answers for these indecent atrocities that go against human understanding. It is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, that these brave souls, unbound and uncompromised, stand here as the united opposition determined to komboa Kenya. Friends, our beloved republic, when that 1-year-old Albert Juang walked back to his home in Migori on June 6, 2025, neither he nor his parents, his relatives, and his young wife were aware that these were his last hours on earth. Albert was neither sick nor wounded. He had in fact spent the day actively planning his home garden, calculating its eventual harvest. Albert, a Kiswahili and religious studies teacher based in Voi, was a single hope of his parents and father to a 2.5-year-old child. Albert was picked up by police officers riding motorcycles in Kakot, Homa Bay, and taken away because of an alleged offensive social media post about a senior police officer, now identified as the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Eliud Lagat. 32 hours later, after the police who arrested Albert assured his parents that he was well and only needed a heavy overcoat because Nairobi was cold, Albert was dead. Why Albert was moved from Mawega police station in Homa Bay to Nairobi, 400 kilometers from the alleged area of incident, and specifically Central Police Station in Nairobi, and checked in under OB number 13/7/6/2025 at 9:35 p.m. on Saturday, June 7th, remains unclear. There are 26 hours that remain unaccounted for between Homa Bay and Nairobi. 26 hours when a healthy man having lunch with his young family arrived, according to many sources, bleeding with serious injuries, 26 hours before being declared dead on arrival, allegedly at Bagathi Hospital, Nairobi, at 1:39 a.m. Today, ladies and gentlemen, this is no ordinary gathering. Albert's family has questions. We too have questions. Kenyans have questions. And indeed, the international community has questions. We all demand answers to the following. 1, the Criminal Procedure Code, Chapter 75 of the Laws of Kenya, has clear procedures on arrests relating to cognizable offenses. There should have been a formal complaint and an arrest warrant. Kenyans want to know if there was a formal complaint by the Deputy Inspector General of Police Eliud Lagat, and if so, at what police station? Which date and time was this complaint recorded? Was it the OB entry number of the said was there an OB entry number for the said complaint? Number 2, we demand to know why Albert was moved from Mawego Police Station, Homa Bay, to Nairobi, and specifically Central Police Station, and which officers accompanied him by name and rank. Central Police Station, Nairobi area, has CCTV coverage. Number 3, we demand to know where the footage showing Albert being brought in and leaving the station is, and whether it's been provided to the family lawyers. If there is no footage, we demand to know who ordered for the cameras to be switched off. When Albert was picked up in Homa Bay, he had no physical injuries. Indeed, he was having lunch with his wife. We demand to know who inflicted the grievous and extensive injuries on his body. Number 5, it's been reported that Albert was in solitary confinement at Central Police Station. Why was Albert considered a high-risk criminal to be confined in solitary? If he was not in solitary confinement, as alleged, who are his cellmates and how many were they? We therefore demand to know that demand to be shown the cell register to show whether he was with other inmates or he was in solitary confinement. Number 6, yesterday, June 10th, 2025, we've read and heard that the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP, directed the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, to expedite investigations on circumstances surrounding the death of Albert and report within 7 days. This is a cover-up and a diversionary tactic to delay this matter. The mandate of the DPP under the Constitution of Kenya is to direct the National Police Service and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in writing to do investigations, not to direct the IPOA. The postmortem on Albert is clear, and all Kenyans have formed this opinion: he was murdered. In light of the foregoing, we are calling not just for the resignation, but for the arrest and arraignment in court of the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Eliud Lagat, within 24 hours from the issuance of this statement. We similarly demand that the junior officers currently being persecuted be given witness protection with immediate effect. Their lives obviously are in danger because they know the truth. We applaud the courageous Kenyans who have kept vigil at Vigilance House and encourage them to maintain the pressure until this is achieved. We're also aware that Safaricom is complicit and indeed a facilitator in the tracing and abduction of Kenyans who have either ended up dead or maimed in the hands of police like Albert Juang. We want to issue a direct warning that this amounts to aiding and abetting in the commission of these crimes against humanity, for which Kenyans will hold Safaricom responsible and either take appropriate legal action or boycott their services. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, due to the persistent targeting, kidnapping and abductions, intimidation, and love arrests and murder of young people by this heinous and degenerate regime led by William Ruto, we reiterate our call for the June 25th to be a people's public holiday, a day of memorial in honor of all Kenyans who have lost their lives under this regime. Thank you. God bless Kenya.
I think it's a very clear statement. I don't know whether anybody in here, because I think something so serious needs to be digested as it is.
Yes. No questions.
Thank you.
Maybe, but anyway, it's okay. Anyway, clear.